Welcome everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday yoga session. I hope you're all well. You've made it here, that's already an achievement. So welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're providing occupiers of White City Place a live platform to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own homes. Lovely. So let's make our way down onto our backs to begin our practice. Bend the knees, place the feet hip distance apart, and just make yourself as comfortable as you can be. Turn the palms towards the ceiling. Let the fingers naturally curl back towards the center of each palm. And check that the chin and the forehead are aligned. So if the chin is higher and the head is arching back, maybe a towel or a blanket underneath the head, just so the spine is aligned. Lightly close your eyes. Relax the muscles around the orbits of the eyes. Let the forehead grow broad and wide. Relax the hinges of your jaw. Relax the skin on the scalp. Feel the back of the skull broadening against the earth. And that broadness flows down into the back of the shoulder girdle. Back of the rib cage broadens. Back of the waist and lower back soft. And softening the front of the belly. Bring your awareness to the natural movement of your breath. Noticing where the breath resides in this moment. You may feel this in the chest, around or below the navel. You may also notice the breath at the base of your nostrils. And we're just taking a few moments to arrive and observe. Our intention is not to change or make better or fix, just to acknowledge our starting point. Allow the breath to be your anchor to the present moment. So whenever your mind is pulled away, notice that you've left, you're creating a story or an evaluation about your practice or your body or the way you feel today. Notice that and be willing to bring your mind back a little quicker to the sensation of the breath. Go ahead and draw your knees towards your chest. Just taking each hand over each kneecap respectively. You can let the feet relax and feel along the length of your spine. So the tailbone reaches forward, slightly down. Take a little rock across the sacrum from side to side, turning your head to the opposite side of the knees. Just a little massage for the lower back. Come back to the center, place the left foot to the floor, release the arms back down onto the earth, palms up, and your right knee stays towards you. Start to draw some little circles with that right knee. Relax the shoulders, the front of the throat, the jaw. Notice how your femur head glides in the sockets. Notice if there are any sticky parts, any parts that may be a little tense or tight. Keeping the inner edge of your left foot grounded and your abdominal muscles are switched on just a little bit. Start to rotate the knee in the opposite direction. And come to the center and stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep the knee bent, flex the foot, spread the toes. Plug your tailbone back down into the earth. And from the root of your right thigh, so top of your right thigh, externally rotate. So your right toes turn out about 10 or 15 degrees. Maybe send the heel up a little higher and then cross the right ankle over onto the top of the left thigh. Make sure the foot clears the thigh so you can flex the foot, shortening the space between your outer foot and the ankle bone. And keeping the tailbone down so there's a little resistance. Pick the left foot off the floor. And if you can, thread the needle, right hand through the hole, interlacing the hands around the back of your left thigh. Again, check that the back of the neck is long, chin slightly towards the throat. And press the thigh forward into your interlaced hands. So you're creating a little bit of resistance here. Notice a little bit of space between the lower back and the floor. Then we'll do the opposite and soften the left thigh towards us. Right elbow may just be there inside the right thigh to keep the knee pressing forward. And the tailbone can curl up a little bit here. Again, press the thigh forward into your interlaced hands, creating the resistance once again. Arms straighten and stretch your left leg up towards the ceiling. Spreading the toes. Good. Release the interlace of your hands and take the hands around the front of the right knee. Draw the right knee towards the chest. So you're going to release the foot off the thigh. And as you exhale, lower your left leg down. And the heel rests lightly on the floor in line with your sit bone. Soften the top of your right thigh. Extend forward to the inner seam of your left leg. Hugging the thigh towards you. And then press the knee or shin into your interlaced hands, sending the leg forward. There's a little bit more space between the top of the thigh and the belly, and an opportunity to slide the skin of the shoulder blades down the back. So there's a tension here, a good tension in the leg. And from that tension, turn the right knee towards the shoulder and soften the thigh outside of your body. So there's an external rotation here. Right heel is just gliding towards the pubis, slightly across the body. This might be enough. Or you could take the crook of the right elbow around the knee, keeping the fingers interlaced. Press the knee out towards the elbow. Pull the left elbow in opposition and lengthen forward through your left leg. So you've got a three-way stretch here through the body. Breathing naturally. Keep returning your mind to the breath. And then taking the right knee across the body, release the right arm out to the side onto the floor. Left hand can guide the knee across, or you can create a shelf for that thigh with the hand if you don't want to go so far, or maybe the foot drifts to the earth. Long extended left leg. Maybe turn your gaze towards the right thumb. As you roll onto your back, take the right knee out towards the armpit, soften the foot, and start to circle that knee. Maybe some bigger circles now. And in opposition. Knee comes out towards the armpit again. Reach inside the knee with your right hand. Catch a hold of the shin or the ankle or maybe even the inner heel. And start to lift the foot towards a half happy baby. If this is compromising your spine, if the head is arching back and your left knee is bending, place the left foot back to the floor. So the leg can be straight, left leg can be straight, or it can be bent. Might be useful to rest the left hand onto the top of the left thigh to keep you grounded if you're rolling over, or maybe even onto the center of your right thigh bone. Feeling the weight of that thigh bone. Just a little sense of anchoring and grounding there. Okay, drop the heel to the sit bone. Draw your knee in towards you. Left knee comes up also. Both knees towards the chest. Release the right foot to the floor, arms down by your sides. Soften the left foot and start to take some little circles with the knee. One direction. Feeling the femur head. Rotating in that acetabulum, the hip socket. How does that feel? Imagine you've oiled up that joint, and then in the opposite way. So the mechanics are smooth. Come to the center. Stretch your left leg up towards the ceiling. It's absolutely fine if the knee is bent. Spread the toes. Plug the left side of your pelvis back down into the earth. Externally rotate from the root of the thigh, the toes turn out, pointing towards the tip of the ear. Tailbone down. And then crossing the ankle over onto the top of the thigh. Make sure the foot is completely clear of the leg. Shortening the space between your outer foot and your outer ankle bone. Tailbone stays grounded as the right foot floats off the floor. Thread the needle. Left hand through the hole, interlacing the hands about halfway down the back of the thigh. And create a resistance here by pressing your thigh bone forward into your interlaced hands. You can feel the natural S shape of your spine on the earth. And then draw the thigh towards you. Lower back flattens, tailbone curls up. Maybe the left elbow is conveniently there to help keep the left knee moving forward. Create the resistance again as you press your thigh towards your interlaced hands and stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. Now we release the interlace and take the hands over the front of the left knee. Clear the ankle, and as you exhale, lower that right heel to the floor. It softly lands in line with your sit bone. And as if you're stretching the feet in opposition, lengthen through the inner seam of your right leg. Hug the left thigh in towards you. Soften the throat, across the collarbones, the shoulder, the jaw. Press the knee forward into your interlaced hands. Good tension. And externally rotate, knee comes to the shoulder. This might be enough, or you could wrap the crook of your left elbow around the outside of your knee. Hands stay interlaced, draw your right elbow in opposition as you press out with the knee and lengthen forward through your right leg. So you get a lovely lengthening through the iliopsoas muscle here on that leg. A three-way stretch through the body. Couple of breaths. And taking the knee across the body. Left arm extends out to the side. Right arm can add a little bit of weight to that knee as it crosses, or support underneath the leg if you don't want to go so far into the twist. Bottom leg extends. And rolling onto your back again, soften the foot. Start to take some big circles of that left knee. Engage your core muscles so you're not rocking around too much here. And then the opposite direction. Taking the knee to the armpit. Reaching inside, flexing the foot. You can take a hold of the inner heel, or if the shoulder is high off the floor, slide the hand down the shin. Right hand can rest on the top of the thigh or onto the center of your left thigh. So you're kind of cradling that leg, anchoring, grounding. Drop the heel to the sit bone, draw the knee in, draw your left knee in also. Take the hands behind the backs of the thighs, tuck your chin in as you rock back and rock yourself up to seated, just curling the shins around and coming onto your hands and knees. Great. So with your wrists underneath your shoulders, let's take the hands another hand forward. The tops of the feet are on the floor. Lift your heart, draw the shoulder tips down the back, broaden your sit bones. Take an inhale. Exhale, dive your chest and chin to the floor, hug your elbows in. Inhale, come through, chin towards the chest. Lift the navel. Exhale, draw back onto your heels. Little child's pose with the shins parallel. Inhale onto hands and knees. Lift the heart. Exhale, chest and chin. Inhale, glide through. Exhale, lift the navel and draw back. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come on to hands and knees. Exhale, tuck your toes and float your hips up into perhaps your first downward facing dog of the day, maybe not. Really spread and root the palms into the earth, spread across the balls of your feet. You could walk your dog if you feel, getting one knee and then the other, easing into the tissues and the backs of your legs. Maybe raising both heels together on the inhale. And as you exhale, stretch the heels back and down. We're not trying to get the heels to the floor here. Inhale. Exhale. Instead, there's a lengthening through both the inner and outer edges of your feet. Let's lower the knees to the floor. Flatten the feet. You might want to bring your knees a little bit closer. Stretch your right leg up behind you, flexing your foot. Take an inhale. As you exhale and push your heel towards the back wall, dive forward. Come through as you inhale, top of the foot to the floor, and as you exhale, draw back. If this is too much, you can stay with the first variation, both knees on the floor. Inhale, come up. Exhale here. Inhale, left leg extends, press the heel away, diagonal chest and chin forward. Inhaling, coming through. Exhaling, lift the navel and come back. Inhaling onto hands and knees. Exhale here. Inhale, raise your right leg up behind you. Take a little press up, 2 or 4 inches. Exhale. Inhale, push up. Tuck your left toes, and if it's possible, push into the hands. Float the left knee off the floor and lift up into a 3-legged dog. Squaring the hips from the strength of your navel. Foot is flexed today as you press out. And take another inhale, and as you exhale, bend the knee through and slip the foot in between the hands. Help it through if you need to with your right hand. Push your feet down into the earth. Let your belly float off your thigh and reach your arms back. Curl the shoulder blades slightly towards one another and feel the energy extend out through the tips of your fingers. Have an awareness of your back body. On your next inhalation, you're going to sweep the arms forward and up, chest lifts, and the back knee bends. It just hovers off the floor. Narrow the pelvic bones. So quite a strong quad stretch here. Reaching up through the tips of your fingers. And begin to straighten that back leg. Keeping the hips low, taking the stretch from the quad into the hip flexor. And maybe lift your fingers up and back slightly. Exhale, take the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank. As you exhale, draw your right knee towards your chest. Inhale, step it back. Left knee, exhale. Inhale, step it back. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, come through, extend the toes. Lift the navel and draw back onto your heels. Couple of breaths here. Possibly lifting the fingers off the floor. So you're balancing on the inner wrists, making a little stop sign with your hand. Great. Place the hands back down onto the earth. Come up onto your hands and your knees as you inhale. Exhale, maybe knees a little closer. Inhale, extend your left leg up behind you, flex the foot. Perhaps a little 2 or 4 inch press up. Exhale. Inhale. Tucking your right toes. Push the mat down and forward. Float the right knee off the floor. Float the hips up into a 3-legged dog. Hips are square, shoulders are square. Push out through the heel as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knee through and step the foot in between the hands. Help it with your hand if you need to. Push the feet down into the mat so the belly starts to hover over the thigh. Reaching your arms back. Curl the shoulders around a little bit. Front, back and sides of the neck equally long. On your next inhale, sweep the arms forward and up as you lift the chest and bend your back knee. It's just hovering off the floor for this quad stretch. Wrapping the right hip forward. And keeping the hips low, begin to extend that back leg. Taking the stretch from the quad into the iliopsoas muscle, the front of the hip. Reach up maybe over a little bit here. And exhale, take the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Draw your right knee towards your chest as you exhale, holding your plank. Inhale, step it back. Left knee, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin. Through into little baby cobra. Lift your navel, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wonderful. Walking your feet forward towards the front of the mat. Place your feet together. Bend your knees. Keep the belly attached to the thighs. See if you can bring your thighs parallel to the floor, or nearly. Wrap the arms to the outsides of the legs and take a hold of your ankles. Squeezing the knees in. Spreading the toes. And as you press your heels down into the mat, curl the elbows towards one another behind the shins. You can keep the knees bent, squeeze the knees in, forehead towards the shins. Inhale, lead with your heart. Sweep your arms out to the sides as you come all the way up to standing. Reaching up, and exhale, thumbs draw down towards your heart. Inhale into your heart space. Exhale down into the pit of the belly. Take a big wide breath as you raise the arms again. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Inhale, lift and lengthen your heart. Exhale, step back with your left toes. Find the floor gracefully. Still with the back knee off the floor. Push down through the feet. Float your arms out and up, just resting the fingertips on the shelf of your skull, lifting your skull lightly off your neck. Come forward about a third of the way, anchor into the ball of the back foot, and start to twist the chest towards the right knee. Elbows are reaching away from one another. So just floating your chest here. Float the left fingertips to the floor, right arm rises. And as much as you root down, you lift up. There's that connection between the earth and the sky above, your heart and head along the horizon. Float the right fingertips to the floor, and keeping your left hip bone peeled forward, raise up the left arm, just looking down towards your right toes. Float the left fingertips behind the back of your skull, and as you exhale, curl forward, elbow to inner ankle bone. Inhale, open up the chest. One more time, exhaling. Inhaling, opening. Exhale, curl forward, and then reach your left arm back towards your left leg. Maybe begin to straighten your right leg a little bit. As you bend your right knee, sweep the left arm forward by your ear, and then place the hand to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin, unless you feel you want to take a chaturanga into an up dog. Lift the navel, tuck the toes, back into your downward facing dog. Walking your feet forward towards the front of the mat. Placing your feet together. Again, you're going to bend your knees. Take the hands around the outside, hands onto the ankles. Drop down into a squat as if your thighs were parallel to the floor. Squeeze the knees towards one another. Barely resting on the thighs. And then press into the heels as you lift your sit bones. Curl the elbows towards one another. Sandwich your body towards your legs. Take an inhale. Brush the arms out to the sides, coming all the way up. And exhale, grow even taller as your thumbs draw down. Inhale into your heart. Exhale down into the pit of the belly. Take a big, wide breath as you brush the arms out and up. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, step back with your right toes into your lunge. Push down through the feet as you float your arms out to the sides, resting the fingertips underneath the shelf of your skull. Come forward about a third of the way. Anchor through the ball of your back foot. Start to rotate as if you were an aeroplane turning in space towards your knee. Front knee. Float the right fingertips to the floor. Left arm rises. And as much as you root, you rise. Lovely. Float the left fingertips to the floor. Keep looking down as you peel your right arm up. Right hip stays rotated forward. It may lift a little bit, but as best you can, you're maintaining the shape of your lunge. Left fingertips onto the back of the skull. Exhale, curl forward, elbow to inner ankle. And inhale, open up the chest, open up your shoulder like a wing. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Reach your right arm back towards your right shin. Maybe begin to straighten the front leg a little bit. Rebend your left knee and brush your right arm forward by your ear. Take the hands to the floor, step back into a high plank. Lower knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Lift your navel, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Lovely. Walk your feet forward towards the front of the mat. Place your feet this time hip distance apart. You'll have a little bit more stability. Soften the navel towards the spine and let yourself hang. Knees can be bent. Take the fingertips behind the back of the skull. Open your elbows wide. And then press the skull into the tips of the fingers as your chest floats forward and up slightly. Rotate the chest to the right. Just taking a little twist in the upper body here. Exhale, square. Rotate the chest to the left. Back to the center. Bend the knees. Lift yourself up through an Utkatasana. Rising all the way up. Reach your arms towards the sky as you inhale. And exhale, bring the arms down. Scooping up this time from your pelvic floor up to your heart with your hands. Take an inhale into your heart space. Exhale down into the pit of the belly. Big wide breath. Inhale. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, step back with your left toes into your lunge. Push down to the feet, float your arms out and up. Fingertips come to the back of your skull. Come forward a little bit more now, so you're almost lying on the thigh. Rotate as if the left elbow were to come to the inner ankle. Maybe go a little deeper, as if the elbow were to come to the floor. Float the chest, square the shoulders. Release the right fingertips to the floor outside of the foot. Back heel comes down, so ground your back heel and open up the chest. Exhale, curl forward, elbow to inner ankle. Inhale, open up the chest. Reach the arm towards the ceiling. Parsvakonasana. And then push into the right foot as you come into your warrior two. So if you look down, you just can see your right big toe in front of your knee. Shoulders over the hips, wrists above the ankles. Gazing softly but purposefully towards your right fingers. As you inhale, straighten up the knee, turn your right toes in, so feet are parallel. Reach up towards the ceiling, hands into prayer. Swivel your feet towards the left and drop down into a warrior two, gazing towards your left fingers. Backhand sweeps down by your hip, it carries the hip forward, squaring the hips towards your back wall. Reach the arms up and place the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank and lower your knees to the earth. Let's flatten the feet here and take the left forearm to the floor. Right hand comes in line with the left elbow, just slightly wider than your armpit here. And you're going to raise your right leg up behind you, flexing the foot. Open the hip towards the ceiling so the belly opens. And look over your right shoulder, maybe see those right toes. And the little toe of your foot is lining up with the ceiling there. Exhale, heel to sit bone, let the head hang. Look towards the left knee. Inhale, extend the leg, look over, maybe locate those toes. Exhale, look down, heel to sit bone. Inhale, extend the leg and look up. One more time. Exhale, can you let your head hang? Let it hang off the neck there, but keep lifted out of the shoulder. Inhale, extend. Come up onto both hands, squaring the hips, tuck your left toes, lift up into a three-legged dog. Bend the knee through and step the foot in between your hands. It's the right foot forward. Right hand comes to the inside of the foot and you walk yourself around into a wide-legged fold. I'm just going to turn around here because we're going around the mantra of the mat all the way around in a moment. So Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Invite the weight into the outer edges of your feet. Turn your left toes out about 10 degrees and walk your hands over towards the left foot, placing the left elbow inside the shin. Both feet stay grounded, heels stay grounded. Using the elbow to keep the knee tracking over the middle two toes. Coming through to the center, turn your left toes in, right toes out. Walk your hands across towards the right foot. Right elbow comes inside the shin, so the knee stays tracking over the middle two toes. Both heels grounded. Coming back through to the center. Walk yourself over towards the left foot, walking around, coming back to the front of your mat, and glide your back foot forward to fold. Feet can be together or hip distance. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale. Exhale, draw your thumbs down your midline to your heart. And just take a moment of pause. Feeling into your body, softening the soles of the feet, softening the backs of your knees. So there's a downward force through your legs and your feet, and upward force from the navel. Inhale into the heart, exhale down into the pit of the belly as you release your arms. Take a big wide breath as you reach up. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Lift and lengthen your heart. Step back with your right toes into your lunge. Push into the feet, float your arms out to the sides and take the fingertips behind the back of your skull, lifting your skull off your neck. Come forward over your thighs, rooting in the ball of your back foot. Start to twist towards your left knee. Maybe go a little bit deeper as if the right elbow comes to the inner left ankle bone, almost to the floor. Float your shoulders square over your front thigh and the left fingertips come to the floor, outside the foot, right heel down. Open up the chest, press the knee into the upper arm. Exhale, curl your chest forward, elbow to inner ankle. Inhale, open up, curl your left sit bone. Underneath you, reach the arm towards the sky, and if someone had a hold of that hand to help you come up into your warrior two, gazing towards your left fingertips. Couple of breaths here. Let your wrists and fingers be soft. Rise up, turn your toes in, reach up as you inhale, and swivel your feet around towards your right. Dropping the spine vertically down, like a plumb line to the center of the pose into your warrior two. Left arm sweeps down by the hip, carries the hip forward as you square the shoulders, reach up, and float the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, flatten your feet. Lower down onto your right forearm. Left hand comes in line with the elbow. Lift out of your shoulders here. Let the left elbow tuck in here as it doesn't want to be too splayed out to the side. Center your right knee a little bit if you need to, knowing that the left leg will be rising. And then lift the left leg up, flex the foot. Open the hip towards the sky. Look over your left shoulder, see if you can see those toes. Little toe to the foot is lining up with the ceiling. Knee stays where it is and you just bend it, so the thigh is lifted. Release the head and look down. Inhale, extend the leg and look up. Exhale, heel to sit bone, let the head hang. Inhale, look over the shoulder, extend the leg one more time. Exhale. Inhaling. Come up onto your hands, square the hips, tuck your right toes, and if you can, float up into a three-legged dog. Step the left foot in between your hands. Take the left hand to the inside of the foot. Walk yourself around so you're going all the way around your mat. But we're going to pause here with the legs wide. I'm just going to turn around. You stay where you are. Fantastic. Turning your right toes out about 10 degrees. Walk your hands over towards the right foot. Maybe this time you let the heel pop off. Rotate on the heel so the toes turn up and suck your left thigh bone back into the socket. You can keep your fingertips on the floor in line with your hips for support. A little lift up through the pelvic floor. Or maybe see if you can take your hands to prayer just for a little millisecond. And you're strengthening this ankle if it's a little bit wobbly. If you want more, you start to hinge forward, placing the elbow inside the shin, inside the thigh, bowing your heart onto the tips of your fingers. Strong stretch for your inner thigh. And take the fingertips to the floor. Creep your pelvis through your legs. And come over to the other side. Making sure your right knee and toes point up towards the ceiling. Fingertips can stay on the floor. Little uplift to the inner seam of your body. Maybe hands to the heart in prayer. Might just be for a millisecond. And there's some wobbling. Take the fingertips to the floor or take a bow with the hands in prayer. And then when you're ready, make your way up out of this. Walk yourself over towards the right foot and glide the back foot forward. Feet can be hip distance or feet together. Let yourself hang. Good. Let's take the feet hip distance apart. Bend both knees. Take the left hand onto the front of the left knee and your right hand onto your hip bone. Shift the weight onto the right leg, draw the navel to the spine and see if you can come up with that left knee. So come up to standing, left knee lifts. Reach the left hand inside the knee and take a hold of the inner heel. Draw the heel towards the pubis. First stage. Shave your right arm by the side of your body and reach it up towards the sky, so right upper arm by the ear. And if you want more, take a half happy baby by externally rotating the top of the thigh, kicking the heel forward a little bit. So we did this supine pose, supine happy baby earlier on. If you want more, bend both knees. Take the ankle onto the top of the thigh as you exhale. And as you inhale, extend the leg. You might even straighten it a little bit more. Exhale, ankle onto thigh. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Ankle onto thigh, cross your right arm over so you're taking a hold of your elbow points and rest your forearms on your shin. With the shoulder blades up the back, extend the spine. Lovely. Lift up enough to release the foot. Step back into a lunge. Left foot back. If you can, fingers or palms of the hands onto the floor. Suck up from the belly and suck your right foot back. Place your left heel in and down. And you'll probably find your fingers are extending forward, lengthening over your thigh. If that's too much, slide the hands further back so the chest is a little bit more lifted, or even take your hands onto your shins. Back heel is down. There's a little bit of width between the feet. Lovely. Bend your front knee, this is your right knee, swivel up your back heel and start to bring the left knee to the outside. You're going to take it around and sit all the way down here for your twist. So you can right foot over the top. Don't worry too much about bringing this right sit bone to the floor because we're going to move over into a little twist. Take the left fingertips out to the side and the right hand comes through. So you're rotating in the rib cage here. Maybe back of the hand comes to the floor, maybe the forearm comes to the floor. You could plant the weight down into the right palm for support and take a little twist. Actually quite a strong twist around that band, just around the lower ribs, underneath the rib cage, into the diaphragm. Can you breathe into that area? And pushing into that supporting palm, make your way back, crossing the ankles. Arms come out to the sides, rock back, maybe lift the ankles off the floor. A little lotus pose. Crossing the ankles, you could take your way over and into a down dog this way, or swing your legs around if that's too much for the feet and the ankles. And just take a moment in this delicious down dog, just coming home to something a little bit more symmetrical, stable. Down dog is an inversion, a shoulder strengthener, a hamstring opener, forward bend. And let's walk the feet forward towards the front of the mat. Feet are hip distance apart as you fold over. Bend your knees. Take the right hand onto the front of the right knee, left hand onto your hip. And by lifting the navel, you're going to come up, shift the weight onto the left leg. Think more about planting down into your supporting leg than the doing leg that's coming up. Right hand comes inside the knee, takes a hold of the inner heel, draw the heel towards the pubis. First stage. You can stay here. You could kick your heel forward a little bit, finding that strong external rotation towards a happy baby, half happy baby. And let's slide the left arm up by the ear. So as you reach up, it's almost like you're catching a rope to help stabilize. Exhale, bend both knees, ankle crosses over. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, ankle onto thigh. Inhale, extend. Exhale, holding it here, left arm comes over. Take a hold of the elbow points. Place the forearms onto the shin or the shoulder blades up the back. And then release the ankles. Step back with your right toes into a lunge. From your navel, suck back. Suck your left foot back towards you and place the right heel to the floor. Maybe the fingers stay extended so you're lengthening through the sides of your body, or you might need to walk the hands back and lift the chest a little bit, or even have the hands up onto the shin. Rooting down through both legs. Bending your front knee, swivel up your right heel and draw the right knee behind so it crosses over. Come and sit all the way down with your left foot in front. Make sure you're not sitting on the ankle. It's okay to have this sit bone up because we're going to come over. Right fingertips reach out. Left arm feeds through. So you can look at that hand as you place the back of the hand to the floor. Maybe the forearm comes to the earth and you could take the weight into the back hand. Rotate. Couple of breaths here. Lovely. Coming back up. Crossing the ankles, tips of the toes to the floor, maybe arms out to the sides, floating up the feet. You can take a hold of the backs of the knees this time, draw the thighs closer towards the outer body, spine lifts. And this time we're going to place the feet back to the floor and wiggle the ankles underneath the knees. So just coming into a cross-legged position, hands onto the knees, start to come forward. Elbows angle back, chest towards the shins. Just allowing the weight of the upper body and the hands to open the hips. And pressing down onto the shins, coming all the way up. Great. So let's unravel the feet, take the feet to the floor. Curl your tailbone under and bring your sit bones towards your heels and release yourself down onto the earth. Bring the feet together, arms out to the sides, lift your hips just a couple of inches off the mat and swing them over to the right, place them down to the floor, draw your knees towards your chest. So with the hips moving towards the right side of your mat, your knees come over to the left. Spread the shoulder blades, gaze can be up or towards your right thumb. Heart and navel rotating in opposition to the knees. Couple of breaths. Try to relax the toes, feet, ankles, shins, knees. Walking your feet back through to the center. Bring your hips back into the center of your mat. Press gently into the feet, lift the hips, swing them over to the left, place them down, draw the knees to the chest, and drop your knees over to the right. Spreading the shoulder blades, gazing towards the left thumb or towards the ceiling. And relaxing toes, feet, ankles, shins, knees. Couple of breaths here. And walking your feet back to the center of the mat. Bring your pelvis directly below your shoulder girdle. Bring your arms down by your sides. You can stay with the knees bent or stretch your legs forward into Shavasana. Lengthen your limbs out of your sockets. Snuggle yourself down into the support of the earth so you're comfortable, making sure that you're warm. Abandoning the legs, abandoning the arms. Relaxing the face. Relax the face behind the face. Back of the skull broadens on the earth. There's a softening of the brainstem, a broadening the back of your neck and across your shoulder blades. A broadening of the back ribs, waist, sacrum. And a softening of the front body. Take a few conscious breaths to help guide you into final relaxation. And with each exhalation, just notice any little micro tensions dissolving. What would it be like to be completely void of tension? Is that even possible? And so identify with our tensions, our patterns of holding. What is beyond those? So letting go now even over any awareness of your breath or controlling of your breath. Just for the last minute of your practice, we'll rest in silence together. Begin your return to the physical body, to the weight and contact of your body on the earth and the space that you occupy in the room. With your eyes closed, just begin to orientate yourself back into the space that you're in, visualizing the furniture. Your orientation in the room. And coming back to the breath. Perhaps engaging a slightly fuller inhalation as you prepare to re-engage in your day. And wiggling fingers and toes to make sure you're back within your skin. Roll yourself over to the right side. Pause for a moment. Before coming back into a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you, hands to the heart in prayer. Bow your head towards the flats of your thumbs. In gratitude for your practice. And with an open heart and a quiet mind, gently raise your gaze. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be here same time next week, next Wednesday.